Hey everyone, it's Hot for Female, and today we're going to talk about this idea of presence. I mentioned this a lot in my other videos. I talk about how you need to cultivate this because it's really attractive to women. So in this video I'm just going to give you a little brief overview on what it is and how you can develop it and why it's so important when it comes to attracting women. So hope you guys enjoy. Now, the most important reason why presence is so important is because when you can experience presence within yourself, then you can also access your masculinity as a man. And masculinity and presence, when it is experienced with a woman, allows her to be more feminine, more open, more receptive, more appreciative of you, and you guys can actually build a much more solid foundation in terms of a great relationship. Now, I will have to warn you before I tell you what it is and explain all the different ways in which you can cultivate that. I do want to warn you that this is not a one-stop shop. You are not going to be able to watch this video and then all of a sudden be the master of presence. It is an ongoing process. You're going to have to learn some things about it. You're going to have to integrate it within yourself. You're going to have to practice a lot of things, and you're going to be challenged at times. So it is going to be a process. But at the end of the day, you're not doing this to attract a woman. You're not doing this for any other reason other than just your own personal development, and in doing so you will attract richer relationships with women and just a better overall life experience as well. So what exactly is presence? Well, presence is basically, if you're present, you're able to have all your experiences, your attention and your resources focused in on one particular point, and that particular point being the here and the now. Sounds kind of airy-fairy, huh? But it involves things like true listening and acknowledgement. I'm sure many of you have, I don't know, been having a conversation with a friend of some sort, and say you may be speaking about a particular topic, and say they, before you've even finished explaining yourself or explaining this topic, they have cut you off halfway and now they're on another tangent which kind of isn't even related to what you were just talking about. And you can clearly tell that they're in their own world and they're having their own thoughts, and they really just weren't, one, listening to you, or two, acknowledging what you were saying at all. This is someone who truly is not present, and so it's something that it's really a gift that you can give people as well as experience yourself. When you can experience that within yourself, you're more natural and at ease and relaxed with yourself, and you're also giving off a really good energy to other people who then want to be the same, give you the same degree of attention and presence back, because they just naturally want to match your state. As part of truly listening is really about discerning what is being said. So you discern what is being said by not being judgmental of some of the things that you're hearing, and not allowing those thoughts to be completely bombarded by your own thoughts and your own opinions and your own distractions. It's really about, in terms of distractions, it's really about removing any distractions that are going on in your head, any thought processes that are going on in your head. So whether that be thoughts about the past or the future, anything that is removing you from being in this current point in time. And in doing so, you kind of allow yourself the space between your thoughts and your actions, and this is really important. And developing that space means that you will be able to respond rather than just instantly react to certain things and take things personally, or, you know, get anxious and caught up, because usually if you're experiencing anxiety or nervousness, it's because you're projecting, you have thoughts about a future that you're not necessarily comfortable with. So if you can firstly be aware of those thoughts and then decide whether or not you want to believe them, whether or not these are really going to happen, then you have that little bit more control on how you really want to feel, instead of just being in constant reaction. How to develop presence? Well, the most important thing that I want you guys to remember is that presence is based on feeling good. It's about being able to sit with yourself without any distractions and being okay with whatever comes up. Being able to firstly be aware of that and then to accept it. So there are physical and mental ways in which you can actually develop your presence. I'm going to go with the mental first, and then we're going to talk about the physical. So the best mental way to deal and to cultivate presence within yourself is to firstly become aware and then reduce negative self-talk. So these could be things that you say to yourself, like, I can't, it's impossible, I'm not good enough, just things that obviously do not serve you any purpose because they're not allowing you to live your full potential. They're not allowing you to have the confidence that is required or that you would like to experience in your life. Now, I think it's really important for you guys to acknowledge that if you are at least aware that you are talking negatively to yourself about certain things, or you might be saying certain things to yourself, you're well ahead of the guys that are going out there and just have no idea what they're doing wrong, have no idea of what's going on in their head. You're 10 steps ahead because now at least you're aware, and once you're aware, you have the decision whether or not you want to change or not. When you're completely oblivious to what's going on around you, you actually have no power to change because you don't know anything needs changing. Now, the second way which you can develop presence is physically. I would recommend the easiest way to do this is to actually do some form of meditation. I know it doesn't sound very like, oh my gosh, go blow up a fence or anything like that, but just being able to sit with yourself, you know, starting with a minute or starting with 5 minutes, just sitting on your bed and just, or on your chair or wherever, and just sitting with your thoughts, noticing what's going through your head and letting them just pass through you instead of reacting to them, instead of feeling bad or feeling good about these thoughts that are in your head. Breathing is really important as well. If you know, every situation is always okay. So if you can just remind yourself when you're feeling tense or anxious or stressed or whatever, just to take your pulse, like to breathe into your heart, to notice your heart thumping away like it always will or has been in the past, then that can be really grounding for you. Even just like feeling your feet against the floor, like these things are really important. If you want to be more active about it, then you can also engage in sports of any sort really, but just require physical exertion. I think this is really good because you get to connect with your body, you get to use it, you get to demand things of it, and in doing so it helps you to build a better relationship with your body and with your mental state as well. So I would recommend any type of sport, maybe a type of martial art, something that you can start and you can also improve on in the future, because this is going to be something really important as well. You know, I know you guys like to achieve, so even if it's just the sport and you can move up the levels or you can get better and better, this will be really good for developing that presence, but also just your self-confidence and your self-esteem as well. Now, my last note would just be you know, about this idea of presence and this idea of being non-judgmental about things that come into your head. And when you can be non-judgmental of yourself and your thoughts and things like that, then that can also transfer to being non-judgmental of the people and the situations in your experience. And this is really important in terms of, you know, attracting women, because if you're non-judgmental, then you can treat everyone equally. That means you can treat the super hot chick that you're really attracted to just as a real person, which is really important. So there's no putting her on a pedestal, there's no approval seeking, and there's no belief in any self-defeating thoughts. You can just have an honest interaction with her, and that is going to be communicated to her. She's going to feel your presence, and you're going to be well ahead of the guys who are just in their heads trying to recite things or trying to thinking they're not good enough, and so on and so forth. So those are my little tips on what presence is about and how you can, some of the ways in which you can cultivate it. It's really a huge area, so I would encourage you guys to kind of look into it yourselves and just to see where in particular you can develop it. But I definitely think it's a very important characteristics or skill to develop as part of attracting women and just having a much more rich and fulfilling life. Okay, so before I go, just wanted to do a quick shout out to some of my top blog commentators. Where are your names? Ramel, Jeff, Jack Sparrow, Enrich. Thank you guys so much for your insightful contributions. That's it for this week, guys. I will see you again next week. Leave your comments and I'll see you soon. Bye.